All right, Diane, let's talk super quick about what you have, how long have you been in Young Living to begin with?
Okay, so I started Young Living April of 2017, and I hit the rank of silver August of 2018. So it was about a year and a half worth.
Yeah.
I had some business builders, but then some of them just kind of fell off. Anyway, that's a long story.
Yeah.
But now, okay, so I was in kind of a funk and I didn't have any personal enrollments in December or January. I started your course February 1st, and then I had 7 personal enrollments that month. And then March, this month, I've had 11 so far, just myself. And so it's just been a game changer. And I know that I met you in Austin. I don't know if you remember that
Yes.
or not. You are one of my 5 people that I consider to be one of my influencers. And I just absolutely love you. And I think that like your positiveness, that's not even a word, but you know what I mean? Like that, you just exuberate that and bring that, and you bring that swagger, and that's what I love. And you're authentic. And I'm just talking about you all the time to my husband. He's probably like, what in the world? Because we don't even live in Austin. Like I drove about an hour and a half to come and visit you and meet you.
Did you really?
Yeah,
I don't think I realized that.
Did. And I mean, it was so worth it because I told my husband, I said, I'm getting there one way or the other. I said, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm figuring this out. And I did. And
Oh my gosh.
I'm like a red and a green personality, a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of yellow, zero blue. And I'm like not fun at all. I'm
Oh,
one of the
stop.
people that's like,
You're totally fun
I
though.
don't know. I think I'm fun, but obviously I don't have any blue in me at all. But like with your system, I'm like, just give me a system. And that's what I love about this, is because it didn't have anything before. And I was doing classes, but it's not duplicatable. And it was great for me because I would have personal enrollments, but I mean, my leaders couldn't duplicate that.
No.
And so now they're in your the free Facebook group so far.
Yes.
And we're working together. We're going through the 90 days to silver. I just think that by itself was so like, if your mouth could be closed, you know, just the authenticity of being real and listening to people.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to be one of these people that was like, premium starter kit, premium starter kit, premium starter kit. And since doing your course February 1st, I was like, oh, like, no, I can't do that. And I shouldn't do that. And it really shows. People are magnetized to this because it's authentic. And you know, maybe the PSK is not the best for somebody, or maybe it's a, you know, basic starter kit and something else or whatever. I've been a good listener lately by taking your course. So
That's exactly it. So did you say that you took the course, and if I heard you right, within 2 months you had
that same month. So
that same month you had 7 signups.
Yes.
And then the next month you've had 11 so far?
11. Yes. And I just started February 1st.
18 signups in less than 2 months of taking the course?
Yes.
Holy smokes. You need to write that down,
and I'm doing the 20 and 30, your 20 and 30 course.
Yes.
Okay? So I'm like really gonna ramp it up in April and just super excited about that, you know, and then just bathing in valor every day. And just like you had said before, you know, our primal instinct is, you know, the fear. But you've got to put it in a shoebox, put it under the bed, and keep plugging along. Because now more than ever, people need what we have. They need it.
They do. And the only way that they will ever know that is with us showing up and using it in our own lives, or with the curiosity posts or whatever. That's the only way they'll ever know, because any push marketing is static, and they'll be like, I don't want to, they're batting away flies, right? Like with any sort of MLM network marketing, oh, but you need this, oh, but you need that. But then when they see something that's interesting to them and they can self-identify and say, I need that, the conversation is completely different, right? Because they're coming to us.
Right.
And then we're like, oh, okay, well, yeah, let me tell you about it, that I didn't seek you out.
Yes, it's so awesome. Yes. And so like messaging 10 people a day, you know, like I don't even get past the, hey, how are you? When people are like, oh, what was that thing that you posted about? Or hey, you're doing I'm like, wow.
You are like a star pupil. Do you know that like you get all the stars because you're doing the things? The people that actually take the course and do the things that I suggest are all seeing success. The only people that are slower with it are the people that aren't doing some of the things for whatever reason. But if you do them all together, they're meant to work. Like it all works together, but it has to be all done together, right? Like it's a system. You can't leave the, one of the pieces out of a system and have it still operate. Like it all needs to be together. Oh,
yes, I agree. And so if anybody is ever on the fence, I say just do it. This has been, I'm a silver. Oh, and all of my 11 personally enrolled that I had this month are all on ER. They're all on ER. And it's like, that has never happened before to me. And I've been doing this for almost 3 years,
And so how did you, I imagine I already know, but I'm going to let you say, so how are they all on ER? How are all 11 people from this month on ER?
Okay, so number one, the promos help from this month.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the lavender lotion and the Ballard, that's like a no-brainer.
Yes.
But like really talking about the lifestyle, and it's a lifestyle change, and ditching some of the toxins in their home, and just being real with them, just seeing what their family needs, whether it's doing one-on-ones, or now of course since we're quarantined, more Zoom calls, more being on the phone instead of being one-on-one with people. But every time that I was one-on-one with person, it was always a sign up. It was always on ER. Bam. Like no questions asked. Yeah. They saw our family, and from our story that we came from all the way to now, they're like, oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. There's power in our stories, you guys. Stop trying to run with just a corporate description of products. The power is in our story. The power is in how we have used them and how they've changed our life. A corporate description of product is only a description of what is in the bottle, right? It's only a description of that, but it's not a description of the what's in it for them, like the what they're going to take away from it. It's very, very different. Be compliant, of course, but that's very, very different. Well, you already said what you would tell somebody if they were on the fence. Were you ever, I'm curious, were you ever on the fence yourself? How did you find out about me in the first place?
Okay, so this is crazy. So one night my husband was already asleep, and we normally always go to bed together, but this time I snuck out of bed because he was snoring up a storm. So I was like, okay, I'm getting on the computer. I was very frustrated with not having any enrollments in December or January. This is unlike me. And for some reason, last December and January were great. Christmas time, people want gifts, blah, blah, blah. Well, this time, it wasn't. So I knew something had changed, whether it was my approach or whatever had changed.
Yeah.
So I was on Grow and just kind of, going through different things. And I always did a class every month, a make and take, but that's not duplicatable. And I know that now. But anyway, but I was always on Grow looking at different ideas for different, make and takes. And then somebody had mentioned Eric Worre's 20 and 30, the Dream
Yes.
1000.
Uh-huh.
And I ended up, I was in that tier of the 250 to 750 people. So I got the year supply of Ningxia Red.
Yes.
I got all 9 oils. I know. It's like amazing.
Yes.
So anyway, so I was reading somebody's post in Grow about the Hawaiian trip that y'all took, Eric Worre's talk about 20 and 30. And I was like, oh, what is this? So then I researched more about Eric Worre's stuff and YouTubing his stuff. And I was like, I was in such like panic mode because I was like, how do I do that with Young Living? How do I do that with Young Living? Like I was like, what do I do? And so then somebody in Grow had said your name and said you're 20 and 30. And I was like, oh. So then that led me to your site. Then I got the Go for Gold. And then I got the Bring on the Builders. And then I was able to get the 20 and 30. And I had started with the 90 Days to Silver and just started implementing that and improve, I can't say enough like how grateful I am that you're here. Oh my gosh. Because this pertains to us, to Young Living.
Yes.
Like it's not, just a blanket 20 and 30 thing. Like this is actually how we talk to our people. You give us the verbiage. And I love that because I'm like, what do I say? What do I say? The Facebook groups that you have with these groups are amazing. The student groups or whatever they're called. I love scrolling through there because I'm like, oh yeah, like I can use that. Or, people post different curiosity posts or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. Like
yes.
so many great ideas. And in your Facebook groups, Dr. Doug Corrigan, amazing.
He's good,
Dr.
isn't
Corrigan,
he?
yes. Like I have learned so much. Every time I'm driving, I have you on. If I'm waiting for the kids in car line, like every time. Like I just feel like I'm learning something every single day. And I love it. I just keep growing.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. I love that because my goal was for Gold Getters, if you guys haven't, because this goes on YouTube as well. If you're not familiar with Gold Getters, it's the free Facebook group. My goal with Gold Getters was to be able to at least satisfy some needs that were immediate, even if people didn't have, even though my courses don't cost much. I understand that not everybody has $67 today, like I get that. So I wanted for there to be things like you could implement right now to get the ball rolling and maybe get some of those signups where you can then fund other stuff and then you can be growing from there, like exponentially, right? But thank you so much for saying that, because that's absolutely my goal with that group is to really get us moving, get us moving.
Amping up. Yes. And it's the 90 Days to Silver, guys. If y'all are watching and you're not in anything yet, get her free Facebook group. Get it. Go to the unit section, 90 Days to Silver. It's a lot of information, but it sure is good. And you present it in a way that's no fluff. I love that. I love that. So now, a few months later, I go back to Grow, or I go back to some of these other Facebook groups that I was getting ideas from, and I'm scrolling through them and they're good. But now I realize that I just need to bring me to the table. I need to bring me. Classes are good, and I still do classes every so often. but I don't do the cutesy make and takes every month like I did before. That was taking up so much time.
That's it.
Oh my gosh, so much time.
Yeah.
And just talking with members on my team, reaching out to them, reaching out to prospects, reaching out to my business
Yes.
builders, just being present and being
Yes.
there for them. I don't
Yeah.
know how, like, I lost sight of that some
Yeah.
reason.
Well, it's less time. Well, because I think people, honestly, in my own opinion, and I don't know, this is just my opinion, and this is a person who didn't do classes, so it's just totally an outside opinion from what I've seen. But it just seemed like people were very panicky, and they thought that that was the only way to grow. And so they just tried to do as many as they could. I remember people talking about doing 12 classes in a month. And to me, I'm like, what? Because what you can do instead, that time, you're never going to get back. Time is the only thing that we can't ever get back, right? So that time, we need to be very careful about how we invest the time. So when we invest the time, that, in my opinion, should be invested in relationships. It should be
Yeah.
invested in messaging people. It should be investing in reconnecting with our team. It should be invested in making sure that people are getting what they wanted to get out of the whole process altogether. That is a good investment. You'll get a return on that. But investing it into something that somebody may or may not come to, and then even if they come to, they may or may not actually
I
sign
know.
up. Like that, to me, I'm like, there's too many question marks in that process for me to be comfortable investing that much time. That's honestly, for me, that's why I was like, not my bag. But
Yes.
but yeah. Well, okay. Is there do you have any last things that you would like to say to people that are, I know you already said you're on the fence thing. So if there are people out there that are like, man, I really want to do it, what would you say to them again? Like, is there anything else that you would say to them?
So I would first start out with your free Facebook group with the 90 days to silver. Start out doing that. You're gonna see results.
Yeah.
You're gonna see results.
Yes.
And then I would say is it called Go for Gold, right?
Go for Gold. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that's the one that I would do next. You talk about the bat signal, you talk about how to talk to people, and about the Ford method, and all these different things that really just drive everything home.
Yes.
And then if you want to get the bring on the builders, and if you want to do the 20 and 30, then do that too. But definitely invest in yourself if you're on the fence. I mean, like I said, I was doing classes consistently every single month for almost 3 years. Okay. And then stopped. And then in February, when I took your course, I just contacted people through Facebook, through phone chats, through text, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But I was authentic about it. Not one class in February and not one class in March. Okay. And I had the biggest months that I've ever had before.
So you're saying, because this is about to be the title of the video, okay? So you're saying you stopped doing classes and you signed up 18 people in less than 2 months with Go for Gold.
Yes.
After 2 months of not signing up anyone.
Put that in the title.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
And like I said, I'm a silver leader,
Yeah.
And I just always thought you had to do classes, you had to do classes, you had to do classes, and classes are good, but people really just want you to show up.
Yeah.
They want you to be present. And I have Project Broadcast, which has also made life a whole lot easier, because I had a team of 235 people. And I even contacted the inactives that I had and was just human with them. One person reactivated and spent like 200 and something bucks, and she was inactive. Like, I think that's like the moral of the story, is just be you, just bring you. to the table. I think so many of us underestimate ourselves.
Yep.
I did.
100%. That's exactly right. Exactly right. We just show you how to be you in a way that shines bright to everybody else and has some strategy attached to it. That's all that's all it is. Yeah. Oh man,
Yes.
I love it. I love how
Yay.
you just broke that down.
You are an angel. Like I wish I would have met you 3 years ago.
Likewise.
So anyway, I mean, I could have been like, much higher up by now, but I'm super excited about this. And it's just such a blessing to have met you in person. And everyone that's watching this, if you've never met Martha in person, and if you get a chance to, then meet her in person. Drive to wherever you need to drive and meet her. You can ask her any questions you want. She's just as authentic as she is, through a phone or through your computer or whatever.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That means a ton to me. Honestly, it does. Authenticity is my number one thing. I really love that. Thank you.
Yes.
Well, Diane, you have an awesome day. I appreciate you spending some time with me and just everything that you've shared. It's been really, really helpful, and I know it's going to help a bunch of other people as well. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great day, guys, and stay safe.
Oh, yes, you too.
Yes, thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.